All right. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Angel Rivera, the handsome cynic. I'm back with another video. It's been a few days, but I had a weekend. I had other stuff to do, and now I'm back. So in this video, we're gonna be. Before I say that though, this video I'm sure will be going both on the INN YouTube channel and on my personal YouTube channel, and Rumble and all that good stuff. If you see this in the INN channel, do me a favor, please come to my main channel and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. Give me a like, comment on the video, because I'm at 168 subscribers on my main channel, I believe, and I'm gonna get 200 really soon. So if you see this on the INN channel, I appreciate it. You subscribe. Come to my main channel. Link will be in the description box below, and please subscribe. And if you see this on my main channel, go sub to the INN channel. Their links is also in the description box below. So just wanted to get that over with. And now let's get to the topic of the video. Last week, Thursday or Friday, I don't remember what day, I came across an interview with on Krystal, Kyle and Friends with Kyle Kulinski, Krystal Ball, and Marianne Williamson. The joke that is running for president, and that's what she is. She's a joke. I mean, she's not anything, not a legitimate candidate. It's just a vanity project by Krystal Ball and Kyle Kulinski, in order to get that sweet, sweet cash and views and attention and money. That's what this is about. This isn't a real candidacy campaign or whatever. What you think the Democrats are going to allow Marianne Williamson to win the nomination? My ass cheeks. Now let's get to the actual interview itself. Not that. Excuse me 1 second. Not that either. Hold on a second. Bear with me 1 second here. I don't want. Oh no, I definitely don't want that. Ooh, that looks terrible. Let's just do that for now. No, let's leave it like that. It's fine. Whatever. I'll fix it at some point. But right now, I'm just going to do this because. No, not that one. Sorry. Jesus. Technical difficulties. Now we're good. And I'm just going to leave it like that because I don't have time to mess with this right now. But they did a softball interview with her last week where they supposedly. Let me see what the videos. Let me see the title first. Exclusive. Marianne Williamson pressed on Ukraine, Biden, and more. They didn't press her, by the way. This is the most softball interview I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I can't stand these white liberals that are definitely in their own goddamn bubble. Talking about what Marianne Williamson going to do if she's president, which she's never going to be president. Let's be clear about that. But you know, we're not going to play the whole thing because I don't want to see this whole thing. But let's play some of it. Let's see what happens. So let's see what Krystal Ball asks us first. Because she asks about, this is the part where she asks about asses. Let me try it again. Asks about what Israel is doing with what Netanyahu. Try that again. I can't speak today. Netanyahu. I forget it. The Israeli prime minister. I can't say his name for some reason right now. And what he's doing with judges and stuff. So let's check this out.
Just recent news that Trump's ambassador to Israel, who is famously sort of very pro-Israel and very hawkish, was condemning Netanyahu's attacks on the independent judiciary there.
It's
Netanyahu.
it's terrible what's happening in Israel. This is the most far-right government that the country has ever seen. The attacks, as you mentioned, on the judiciary there.
Oh, here we
There were
go.
100,000
That's
people
what I
in the
meant to
streets
do.
in Tel Aviv protesting this. I'm very concerned. When you have someone like Anthony Blinken going over there, and even him saying in public, watch it, baby. I think that means something, and I think that is the approach. I'd love to hear President Biden say, "Watch it, Bibi," and you would certainly hear that from me.
Ah! Is she kidding me? Hold on a second. Is she goddamn kidding me? You think Netanyahu cares about what Anthony Blinken says? He knows ultimately that he's going to do what he wants, and the U.S. won't do dick. All they'll do is watch it, BB, watch it. Trust me, we'll do something to you if you don't watch it. He's laughing his ass off right now in Tel Aviv. Like, what are the Americans going to do to me? Not a fucking thing. I've been in power for decades, pretty much, and they haven't done a goddamn thing to me. So I'm going to continue doing what I want to do. I'm going to continue doing the power grab that I've been doing, and the Americans will like it. That's exactly what Marianne Williamson would do. She's not going to actually do anything to Netanyahu. Now I can say his name. Before I butchered his name like 10 times. But nonetheless, excuse me. Netanyahu is going to continue to do what the fuck he wants to do, and the Americans will like it, and we will continue giving him money because of Washington and their bullshit. They'll never stop giving him money because it's like Ukraine now. Ukraine will always get money from us no matter what we do. So no matter who's president, no matter who's in charge, they'll always get our money. So let's keep going with this nonsense.
So when it comes to Ukraine and Russia, this has been a very heated topic for understandable reasons. People point out you have an illegal and offensive invasion against a country that didn't attack Russia. Russia was the aggressor.
Russia wasn't the aggressor, Kyle. Did you miss the last 10 years of what's been happening in Ukraine, Russia? Did you miss that? Are you an idiot? Are you an idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about? Or you know it and you're ignoring it because for what's conveniently politically for you at the moment? Which one is it? Either you're stupid and you don't know what's going on, and you're ignorant when it comes to foreign policy, or you know what's going on and you're hiding it on purpose for political reasons to help Biden. Which one is it? It's one or the other. Either one's horrible, but I want to know which one it is, because it's ridiculous for Kyle. Even a year after the war started, to keep saying that Russia was the aggressor, Russia was the aggressor, Russia was the aggressor, ignoring the last 10 years about how the Ukrainians were bombing Russians in the eastern part of Ukraine. Let's ignore all that. Ignore all that last 10 years of basic fact. Keep going.
But then you also have people pointing out, hey, there was NATO sort of built up to Russia's border, and that it served as some semblance of a provocation because they viewed it as aggressive from the West. But putting all that aside, I think the more important question here and the more important point is, as president, would you actually try to get to the negotiation table and try to work diplomacy? Because that's actually a controversial position here in this city where we're sitting in DC.
Yes, Kyle, it is controversial in Washington. Weren't you in favor of arming Ukrainians too? Like, which one is it? He says, "Oh, I think we should arm Ukrainians, for defense purposes," and then now I'm going to turn around and say I want peace, even though I was pro arming Nazis in Ukraine. I don't know which one it is with Kyle. He goes back and forth.
Nobody's allowed to say the word negotiation or diplomacy. Then they say, "Oh, you're appeasing, you're Neville Chamberlain. You can't make a deal with the madman or whatever." Do you think that that's the way to go, negotiation and diplomacy, or should we continue effectively funding the proxy war?
Well, it's a complicated situation, but of course...
No, it's not. It's not complicated. I'm going to decipher what complicated means. Complicated basically means that, hey, look, I want to say this, but I want to use talking points too. That's why it's complicated. This isn't complicated. Just stop arming the Ukrainians and force them to negotiate peace. The war will be over in 24 hours. Instead, Miss Marianne Williamson here, self-love talk guru, whatever she calls herself, is going to pretend it's a complicated issue. Let's keep going.
Of course, the goal should be negotiation. Of course, the goal should always be negotiation.
But there's going to be a but here, I'm pretty sure.
Diplomacy. And General Milley and the RAND Corporation have said that is the only possibility here. So I think the question is, when can that happen? I think that those are...
Now. It can happen now. All we got to do is stop arming Ukrainians and force them to negotiate peace with the Russians. It can stop now. You don't need to wait to arbitrary period of time. You could do it now.
I've heard so many people on both sides of that topic come to the conclusion that, of course, you want a negotiated settlement. The only issue is, when is that possible? Some say the United States could come in there right now and say, I want a negotiated settlement. And
she said, some say. She doesn't say like she's agreeing with it. She said, oh, well, some say we can do it right now and negotiate peace. Well, aren't you in favor of that? I mean, she, instead of saying my position is we should stop arming Ukrainians right now and then force them to negotiate peace with the Russians. No, she says some say. Classic Fox News trick there.
Of course, we want a negotiated settlement. The United States should do anything possible to make that happen. I have my questions about whether or not Vladimir Putin would be as open as we might like to such.
Based on what? What does she base that on? Oh, I don't think Vladimir Putin would be open enough to try to go for peace. I don't think he is. Based on what? I don't know. I mean, that's what I hear from the corporate media and the intelligence state apparatus. Excuse me. But yeah, that's basically what she's saying. Like, I don't know if Putin would be open to it. Sure, he'd be open to it. That's what he wanted the entire time. He wanted peace. He wanted the Ukrainians to stop bombing ethnic Russians in eastern Ukraine. He didn't for 10 years. It continued happening, and eventually he had to invade. That's what happened here. Isn't it complicated than make it out to be?
Such conversation if we were to say it today and couple that with complete withdrawal of our military support. But that absolutely should be the goal, and the analysis should always be at what point and how can we best exercise our power to influence this situation in such a way that negotiation and diplomacy in order to
This is meaningless gobbledygook. I mean, honestly, it's like, oh, we need to figure out when exactly it makes sense for our interests to get peace and stuff like that. I mean, flowery rhetoric. I mean, that's all that was. I mean, I don't know what she's trying to say there. That's gobbledygook as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's peace is like we need to get peace, but at the same time we need to make sure our interests are protected, and we need to be involved in the process. No, we don't need to be involved in dick. How about stop giving money to Ukrainians and then let the Chinese negotiate the peace? Because the Chinese are allies with Russia and they're neutral when it comes to the whole Ukraine thing. So let them handle it. Let them handle the peace deal, and we get the fuck out. But no, the United States always has to be involved in everything because we in our minds are the world's police. So that's what's going on there. And Marianne Williamson seems to agree with that. She wants to be involved in peace negotiations when the United States has definitely not shown to be a neutral arbiter in this situation. A little bit more of this.
to save lives, in order to decrease the risk of nuclear encounter might occur. Absolutely.
What do you make of the reports that early on in the war there was publicly reported there were peace negotiations going on?
No, this isn't that important. I want to go forward here a little bit.
Influence on my thinking whatsoever.
Wait, is this it? That's what I'm looking for? Hold on.
Voice of those who would say,
No, this isn't it either. Hold on, let me go forward.
Wholeheartedly support the idea of this. There was a period where you weren't in favor of
No, that's
they
not
would
it.
not be concerned about the
Wait, did I
the
go too far?
invasion
Hold on.
conversation if we were to say it today and couple that with complete withdrawal of our military support. But that absolute support, diplomacy, in absolutely.
What do you make of the reports that early on in the war there was publicly reported there were peace negotiations?
Let me let this
going
play
on?
out.
No one can know exactly whether this would have come to any sort of a deal ultimately. But recently, the former Israeli prime minister talked about his involvement in those talks, that there seemed to be concessions being made on both sides, and effectively the West, led by the U.S., said, "We don't want this deal right now." And the underlying implication was Russia's not doing well. We think we can strike a blow against Russia. We actually want this war to continue. What do you make of those reports?
I think those reports are true. They're indisputably true. And we know that Boris Johnson went over and talked to Zelensky. I believe those things. And I also heard that interview with the former Israeli prime minister. It's indisputably true. So the voice of those who would say, let's perpetrate this war, let's keep it going in order to weaken Russia, they would not be in the room with me. They would have no influence on my thinking whatsoever. Those who are concerned about the imperialistic invasion on the part of Putin, despite the imperialism in our own past, who are
What imperialism? This is the part I want to play. By the way, I just went too far ahead. What imperialism? What imperialism? What? Tell me. I mean, Putin has only invaded what? In 20 years, he's been in power essentially. How many wars he started? How many countries he invaded? Let's see, Georgia, Yugoslavia is technically a part of Russia, I believe, that wouldn't really count, and Ukraine. Make it 3. You know what? 3 countries. How many countries the United States invaded in that timeline? 7, maybe 8. And hell, we're still in all of them anyways. So what imperialistic aspirations Putin has, I don't know. This is Marianne Williamson just repeating CIA talking points.
are concerned about the invasion of a sovereign nation and wanting to analyze what this would mean for that entire area, they would have a voice with me. But those who just want to use this as a proxy war to weaken Russia, to me, those are the voices of horror. They have
those voices will be in the room if she's ever president. Trust me, they'll be her she'll be their puppets, and she'll do exactly what she's told. She's not going to let herself be threatened for assassination, be marked for assassination by the deep state. That's not a thing she's going to allow to do. Anyway, she'll never be president. Let's just be crystal clear about that. But if somehow she were to become president, then that's what's going to end up happening to her. There's a better chance. I'll tell you this right now. There's a better chance right now that I stop drinking cheap beer than Marianne Williamson becoming president. There's a better chance I stop drinking this cheap beer than this woman becoming president. So the idea that she's going to be president is just mind-boggling stupid to me. I can't. I can't believe anyone would seriously think this self-help love guru, yogi, whatever the fuck she calls herself, is going to be president. My ass. So let's just keep going with this. I'm going to play this a little bit longer. Let me just see.
They've had far too much influence in this. They're no different than those who said, let's invade Iraq, in my mind. And they would have no voice with me. And they probably had their opinions about China, and they'd have no voice with me on their opinions there either.
So the last time you ran for office, there was a period where you weren't in favor of Medicare for all.
No, I don't care about this. All right, look, my position on Medicare, on single payer has kind of changed. I'm not in favor of a federalized Medicare for all system. I've changed on that. What I'm in favor of is state Medicare, state single payer system. Basically, have the states do their own single payer systems. That's probably the best way to go forward with this. Not have a nationalized federal Medicare for all. That's not going to pass Congress anyways, and it honestly doesn't make much sense. Actually, when you read policy papers like I do, trust me, you start to realize maybe it's not the best idea, but I would like to see each state have their own Medicare for all system and fund their own Medicare for all system. That's my opinion on that. That's changed. I've changed a tiny bit on that for the reasons I just stated. But let me see. It's something else. I don't think the rest is too important.
Very curious what your answer is to this.
I think I want to play part of the end. Let me see something.
That's true too.
Marianne,
Right.
yes.
Number 2, Ron DeSantis.
No.
Okay.
You.
Tell everybody your Twitter.
Oh,
This is the part. Let me go back a little bit.
Number 3.
No, who cares about that?
I think that's a good note to end on.
Yeah, this is the part. Marianne Williamson is going to Kyle and Krystal are going to desperately ask her to, promote herself. Tell us what your website is. Tell us what your Twitter handle is. Tell us, how can they find you? How can they donate to your campaign? Marianne Williamson is going to proceed to butcher this part to the point where Kyle has to save her because it's embarrassing. So it's hilarious too. So let's watch this last 30 seconds. I think it is. So let's see.
Marianne Williamson for president. Tell everybody where they can find you.
thank you.
Tell everybody your Twitter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your,
Yes. Okay. You can find me at Marianne Marianne. I don't know if it's Marianne for President 2024, or I'm sure that we've got all the URLs. Try Marianne2024.com.
And what's your Twitter? I can definitely find you there.
Laura Williamson.
There you go.
Marianne 20.
She got her Twitter handle right, but she butchered everything else. Did you see that? It's like, I mean, I don't know. You're running for president, and you don't know how people can contact you, what's your website, anything like that. Come on. See, that's very Joe Biden-esque there.
2024.com. Let me check.
Well,
That's not it.
Well, it's not
oh,
yet.
you didn't type it in yet.
What
You
do you
didn't type it in right.
Well, it's not live yet.
Yes,
Marianne
that's true
2024.
too.
Oh, my
Oh, it's not
God.
out yet. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
why.
That's embarrassing. That is absolutely embarrassing. Really? Like, you're going to ask her what's her website? Is that even up? You didn't bother putting it up before the interview? That's embarrassing. I mean, Kyle awkwardly laughing, and you're all awkwardly laughing because Marianne Williamson just embarrassed herself there. Like, I don't... Stupid. Well, that's that. That was embarrassing. If I were Kyle, I'd be pissed off because she just embarrassed me. She didn't tell me her website wasn't up, and I'm telling her promote your shit, and she can't even do that properly. So how do you expect her to be president? Oh my God! Like I said earlier in the video, it'd be a better chance that I stop drinking than Marianne Williamson ever be president. Okay, so make sure I'm gonna clip that part out and put it up on Twitter. That's how important this is. That's how unlikely she'll be president. If she becomes president, I'll stop drinking, guaranteed. I'll give up alcohol, which has been my support system for the last 20 years. But nonetheless, I would stop drinking if she becomes president. That's why I don't have to worry about stopping drinking, because she'll never be president. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this descent into madness of me, because this drove me crazy to watch this whole thing. So I hope you enjoyed my descent into madness. If you're, again, like I said in the beginning, if you're watching this in INN channel, please subscribe to my personal channel. This video will be there as well. Please subscribe to there. The link will be in the description box below. Please subscribe. If you have watching my personal channel, please subscribe to the INN channel. They do some great shit over there. INN News, How Do We Miss That, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. A lot of good shows there. Please subscribe to that channel as well. Link could be in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.